trip in his motorcade alongside other people so that he could wave to his supporters gathered outside the hospital. Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence is ramping up campaign appearances next week in Arizona. He is also gearing up for Wednesday's debate against Senator Kamala Harris. That'll be held in Salt Lake City. Organizers have made some changes to the format for safety reasons. Senator Harris and Vice President Pence will sit 12 feet apart instead of 7 feet. The latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll puts Joe Biden 14 percentage points ahead of the president. Joining us now is NBC campaign embed, Deepa Shivaram. Deepa, first of all, I'm wondering if we've heard anything from the Biden campaign in reaction to this motorcade. There's been a lot of reaction from a lot of politicos. Have we heard anything from the campaign yet?
We haven't, Joshua, although I will say we just did receive news from NBC's Peter Alexander putting out a note that the First Lady herself, there's a statement from the White House saying that the reason she hasn't visited her husband at Walter Reed is because she didn't want to put those Secret Service agents and drivers in harm's way and exposed to COVID and the coronavirus if she were to travel to Walter Reed. And so it's kind of an interesting contrast here of the First Lady apparently showing some caution in this process while the president himself, leaving the hospital after being diagnosed with COVID in a car with his Secret Service agents and a driver. Definitely not social distancing, and putting those folks at risk here, too. He has been positive for the past couple of days now and very well could be contagious and very well could get others sick who he's close with. And so it's a little bit of a twofold situation here going on. We haven't heard anything from the Biden-Harris ticket in terms of a response on that front, but it's possible that they do make comment in the next couple of days, especially with this vice presidential debate coming up this week, like you just mentioned.
What more have we heard from them in terms of their safety precautions? Symone Sanders, who works with the Biden campaign, was pressed this morning on another network about the rate of testing that's going on. She said that they were being tested, the candidates were being tested often, but how often is often? Is it every day, every other day, et cetera? Also, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris technically should not be traveling because if you have been exposed to someone who has COVID-19, you're supposed to quarantine for 14 days. So what do we know about the campaign's safety measures now and how much they've adapted to the president's infection?
Sure, that's a great question. And look, this is a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of updates going on kind of at the same time. We do know that before Joe Biden traveled to Michigan, he took 2 COVID tests. Both of those came back negative. And then in the same sort of time span, both Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug Emhoff, took COVID tests and said that those came back negative too. And so we have been seeing some clear communication from the Biden-Harris ticket on making sure those tests have been done and are coming back. Like you said, we've known before that the ticket and both, Biden and Harris have been taking tests regularly. What that exactly means, is that every day? Is that every other day? We don't know. But we do know as of, in the past 48 hours, the Biden campaign came out and said that every COVID test that the former vice president takes will be released to the public. They will tell us those results. And just this evening, Joshua, before I joined you, the Biden campaign said that the former vice president took another COVID test today, which came back negative. And so